So we did the first part. We set the derivative equal to 0. Now we have to let it be undefined. So, yay, I have a fraction, which means it could be undefined if the bottom, of course, is 0. So I have to think about when is cosine equal to 0. And remember, I'm still on this particular domain, and so I go, oh, cosine is 0 at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So now I have a big collection of possibilities. I have the 2 that I got by setting equal to 0, 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. I have the 2 that I got by letting it be undefined, pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And of course, I have my two endpoints, 0 and 2 pi. Ooh, I'm going to have 6 entries in my table. I'm going to need some space. So I made a table and I put all 6 of those values in. Remember, these first two, when I got those because the derivative was equal to 0. And these second two I got because I set the derivative equal to undefined. And I don't know what the derivative is on these last two. I can plug it into the first derivative. Let's see, if I plugged in 0, I gotta think here for a second. So by my mental calculations, I get 1 when I plug both of those values into the slope formula, into f prime. Okay, so now I gotta find the y value, but remember, in order to find the y value, I have to plug them into the original function. So I'm gonna pause here and do some mental calculations. You should do the same thing, and then I'm gonna fill them in, and then you can check to see if we got the same mental calculations. Oh, look who's back. It's your favorite calculate. It's calculus. Okay, so I plugged in each of the values into the original function. Notice for 2 of them, when I plugged them in, they were undefined, because of course tangent's undefined at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Actually, so secant, because the cosine value would be 0, and that's 1 over cosine. So now all I have to do is look for the biggest value. So let's see, square root of 3 is 1.7, so that's not it. So that means that the biggest value would be 2, so I have an absolute max, and these both tie because they're both 2, and the lowest value would be obviously the negative 1. Okay, Patches, I cannot see what I'm doing, and so I have an absolute min. And so when I write my coordinates, the absolute min happens at 7 pi over 6, comma, negative square root of 3. And the absolute maxes happen at 0, comma 2, and 2 pi, comma 2.